The Boston Bruins have made a controversial signing as they get their new assistant coach, Steve Spott, to sit behind Marco Sturm and run this power play. We're going to be breaking that down, as well as some recent moves across the NHL that have set in motion a series of events that will have a major impact on the Boston Bruins and what they go ahead and do here in this year's free agency and offseason. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot of news to cover today, and a lot of fans are very interested in this first signing from the new head coach. Very quickly, before we do jump into it, as you know, we're on the road to 7K, and you guys have been absolutely killing it as of late. We're currently sitting at 6,931 subs, and like I said, 7K is the goal here before the draft, but I know you guys can do it. I appreciate all your support on these videos as of late. We've had a lot of news coming out, and it's only the beginning. So if you're looking for a spot for all of your Bruins news, you're getting it right here first. Be sure to hit the sub button and join me here on the channel. But let's get straight into this, because we have to talk about this signing. We're going to go over why this, personally, I think this is a good move, but a lot of people are saying this is a very controversial signing. So let's get straight into it here. The Boston Bruins have tweeted this out on the spot. The Bruins have added Steve Spott to the team's coaching staff as an assistant coach. Now, we know Marco Sturm was looking to add to this team, looking to add one more coach to get better here on the power play. That was their main focus, and Steve Spott is their guy. Now, a lot of fans from the Vegas Golden Knights, from the Dallas Stars, in response to these tweets here announcing that Steve Spott is the new assistant coach of the Boston Bruins, were saying, oh, good luck. He's going to ruin your power play. And now, I don't know why. So if you guys are a Vegas fan or Dallas fan watching this video right now, let me know in the comments what you think of them. First of all, because I'm very curious, Sharks fans as well, I'm very curious to see why you guys are saying this, because the stats right now are looking at least very good. And of course, I don't have that much experience watching them. I think we kept our eyes mainly on Misha Donskov from the Dallas Stars, but now with Marco Sturm at the helm, he's going to pick his assistant coach, and he got him. And I wanted to pull this up, going over the stats here, and we'll jump into that in a moment here, but we got a little kind of hint of that in this little bit here. Steve Spott, 57, spent the past 3 years as assistant coach with the Dallas Stars. He helped guide the Stars to 3 consecutive Western Conference Finals appearances, compiling a 149, 68, and 29 record in that regular season record in those years, the best in the NHL over that span. Spott has also overseen the Stars' power play that has a 23.7% success rate over the past 3 seasons, ranking 7th in the NHL. Now, immediately looking at this is pretty good. You're seeing a guy who is getting 50% of the time going to the power play, and you're feeling confident. And of course, 29 or 27, I don't know the number. What was it? 23.7% on the power play over the past 3 seasons. It's actually very, very good. Now, it's interesting that they don't break down season per season, because if you look at that may not be the best comparison, but over the past 3 years at least, 23.7 is a very solid percent. And being 7th in the NHL, that shows that you're running a good power play. Now, we know the Dallas Stars are a great team. They have a lot of great players that can run that power play. I think the Boston Bruins could get to that point very easily as well. Now, when you jump into this one from Bruins Breakdown, Spott looks like he's the new power play guru for the Bruins. Spent the last 3 seasons in Dallas, ranked 7th. From 2022 to 23, 24, 25, 23.7. Immediately looking at this as well, you're looking at this headline. If you saw this tweet right now, you think this would be a good one. But without looking at the replies, that's a great signing. But there's a lot of moves behind it that don't seem to be, or a lot of people behind it that don't seem to be, too excited from not just the Bruins standpoint, but are kind of saying, look out what you're getting from the Bruins' new assistant coach, Steve Spott, from those Vegas and Dallas fans. So I'm curious what you guys think about this immediately. Now, we're going to take a deeper dive into it as well, but let me know what you think immediately, just about this headline right here, what you think about this signing, as, it seems pretty good, at least on the surface, but when we take a deeper dive, it may be a bit different. I can say for now, at least, I'm very excited about this signing, at least see how it plays out, see how we can develop people, but a very interesting quote from Marco Sturm also came out about this signing, and his reasoning behind it. He said, "I'm thrilled to add Steve Spott to our coaching staff, and also welcome him, his wife, Lisa, and their children, Tyler and Emma, to Boston. Steve is a passionate teacher, a strong communicator, and brings great structure and detail to everything he does. His experience, especially on special teams, will be a major asset for our group and for the Boston Bruins moving forward." So I think one thing to take away from this here, of course, is the bottom part there, where it's the special teams. That's a big part. But also that he is a great teacher and communicator. I think that's really going to be the storyline of Marco Sturm's head coaching tenure here, is that people he's going to bring in need to be able to develop players as well as he can. I think that's going to be a big part of it, because we know how young this team is, and we know that Marco Sturm was brought in here for these types of players who are on the younger side and going to be a very big piece of this team in a couple years down the road. They need to develop well. Marco Sturm can do that. So let me know what you think about this signing, first of all, here in the comments below. You think it's a controversial one? Do you know a bit more than, in depth on Steve Spott? We looked at or I at least looked at the year-by-year breakdown, and the power play was good. It's nothing, and there's no anomalies there. So let me know what you think about that there in the comments below. We have to move on, though, because we have a move that happened across the NHL yesterday, which is going to be causing a lot of waves to come along here on this season, especially with the Boston Bruins. Because when we go here and take a look at this report from Chris Johnson, the Seattle Kraken acquired Mason Marchment from Dallas for a 3rd and 4th round pick. Now, immediately looking at this, the Bruins could have done this. There's no doubt about that in my mind, whether or not the Bruins would have wanted to and whether they wanted to spend the cap. They have a lot of it. They could have done this. They have several 3rds, several 4ths, and a deal was not done. Now, there's a lot of questions raised about why this was the case, why the Bruins didn't make this move. They easily could have, and I think a big reason for that was something that we're going to get into here in a moment, but Mason Marchment would have been a phenomenal player for this for this Boston Bruins team. There's no doubt about that. And when we go and take a look at the stats from this year, 62 points, 47 games, was hurt for a little bit, but at a 6'5", just turning 30 years old, he is a guy that really has been able to show what he's made of. He's been around a few teams in the NHL, playing 2nd to 3rd line minutes, but when you put him on any role possible, we can see him have that success here wherever you put him. And I think that's a big part for the Bruins, what they want to do, what they want to, kind of show. And Mason Marchment now being gone means a lot for the Bruins, because although he was a target for this team, names like Jason Robertson are still also very important. We saw that the Dallas Stars have $500K in cap space after signing Matt Duchene, who was another target for the Boston Bruins. Jason Robertson may also be on the move as well, and I feel like, coming down to this and taking a look at where the Bruins currently stand in all of this whole offseason, they're looking to make a splash, and whoever it is, maybe a trade, maybe a signing, they're looking to do so as soon as possible. And now we also have a very interesting report here from Jeff Merrick, which could be the reason that Mason Marchment is not with the Boston Bruins. We don't know if they inquired or not, but this would make a lot of sense if they did, and ultimately they didn't get him because they could have offered up more. But Jeff Merrick tweeted this out. An important note about Marchment to Seattle deal, that GM Jim Nill sent Marchment to another no-state tax team. You don't want the representing player somewhere they don't want to go after taking less to play for you. So it makes sense why, he kind of goes from one spot to another in terms of this way, playing in Dallas. A lot cheaper, I guess, when you think about taxes and whatnot compared to many other states. Seattle joins that company, and it makes sense that they may not have want to send them to Boston, and Jim Nill has a good rep for doing this to players. So that could be a big reason, but we have another very interesting note here on Jason Robertson, what his deal could be, and what the plan is for him, as they need to get him a deal done or move him. I think there's a lot of, questions surrounding Jason Robertson, whether or not he will be here with this Dallas Stars team, and the Bruins are one team that I'm very, very confident are going to be in on Jason Robertson, at least in some manner, or at least have conversations with the team. So this one's actually coming out from Elliot Friedman here. You can take a look at this. NHL rumor report. Elliot Friedman saying, the Stars did test the market on Jason Robertson. They know what they could get. They've decided to let's see if we can re-sign him. And that comes from Sportsnet 590, the radio with Elliot Friedman. So now taking a look at this, I think that it certainly is at least some way the Bruins have put their name out there. And you see, they saw what they could get for him. And I still don't count that fact that they're going to try and get Jason Robertson back. But I can definitely see a realm where they end up trading him if they can't make the cap work. Other players on this Dallas team will have the move to be able to get him re-signed. Of course, this will kick in for next year and whatnot. So there's a lot of moving parts there, but the Bruins should be in on really anybody the Dallas Stars have to offer. They have a very deep team, and anybody on that team that's really in even the 3rd and 4th line, 2nd line, 3rd, 4th, could be a very good fit for this Boston Bruins team. Of course, not just everybody, but a lot of players. So I think we got to keep a very close eye on Jason Robertson here, as well as the Dallas Stars as a whole, and see where the Boston Bruins could throw their name out into and see how things work out there. So let me know what you think about the news today. We have a lot of stuff coming, maybe even have a video later today. So if you want to find that out, be sure to hit the sub button. Join me here. As I mentioned, remember, we're on the road to 7K, and your support's been absolutely incredible as of late. I appreciate all of you guys watching this video now. Your support has been, just genuinely crazy. But that's all I got in this video. If you did enjoy, give it a like, hit the sub button as well. But I'm signing out. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.